Hi, welcome back to the 140 Corvair Buggy Channel. It's good to be with you again, and I'd like to give you some updates that have been happening in the last 2 weeks. The question that you want to maybe think about as we're talking here is, why does my Corvair fan belt keep flipping off? And we'll get to that a little bit later, but I want to talk to you a little bit about your Corvair club, wherever you are, and how you, as a member or a president or a secretary or whatever, can get your club back functioning during this COVID pandemic. I met with the Bonneville Corvair Club in Utah 2 weeks ago. We had about a 2.5, 3 hour meeting. We went over a lot of different things, and I'm going to try and hit those as quick as I can. Number one, you need to go through your roster. Whoever's on your roster, you need to go through there and get current phone numbers there. Pick those up. See if you can revitalize whatever's in there. And then, of course, you need to get your current emails. Update the emails that you have on your charts there. And you might even want to pick somebody in your club to help you if you are overwhelmed as a secretary or a president. So go ahead and update all that. And then what I want you to do is I want you to just kind of step into Zoom, Z-O-O-M. Look at that. You might be able to, if you're in California, you have 19 clubs there. You might be able to have a Zoom there where you can Zoom with your club members. But that Zoom, you're going to need either a phone number so they can run it off a cell phone, or an email so that you can email them the Zoom link. And for you that are not really computer savvy, you might want to get a younger child or a younger grandchild to help you get that set up. It's very easy. I have a special needs daughter who attends Zoom meetings. She's 32 years old, and she attends Zoom meetings 3 times a week. If she can do it, you can do it. So, and if you have any questions about that, you can get a hold of Corsa. They are the parent company to your club, and they can help you. There's a number of people there that can help you with Zoom meetings. They're in them all the time. So I want to encourage you to get back having your meetings. The other thing that you might want to do is you might want to pick up somebody that is an acquisition person that can go out and acquire things. In San Diego, Rod Tetrault is the acquisition Corvair Club person there, and he'll go out and either with other members pick up items that are not wanted or that are being donated, that the club members can pick up a little bit cheaper than on eBay or whatever, but it's going to fund, just remember that it's going to fund some of the activities that you have. You might want to have a barbecue. The things that you're picking up there, you might be able to sell to have your barbecue, or to have your membership drive or some kind of thing where you can give prizes away and stuff like that. Remember to do that at your club meetings. Your club meetings are for you to get to know your members, and to you can advertise in those meetings. By the way, San Diego, they have a lot of advertising in their monthly newsletter. So just remember that your club is your club. It's not my club. So you need to kind of think about the things that you can do in your club. All right, now I want to move on. I want to tell you a little bit about, Corsa has decided this year, 2021, not to hold their San Diego International Corvair Convention. So they don't know if California is going to be able to open up or whatever, so they did not want to spend the money and the time trying to put that on, even though San Diego is a very beautiful place to go and you can really have a good time there. So I want to kind of have a shout out to Bill T at Let's Talk Dubs. He's a Corvair and Volkswagen guy out of Las Vegas. He has a great podcast you might want to go on and kind of check that out. He's got some videos there too. Very dedicated to cars, got some beautiful vehicles there. So Let's Talk Dub is a podcast, so you might want to go check that out. Now I have a couple names for you. You can find the first name on eBay. If you're looking up Corvair parts, most of the eBay Corvair parts are his. Now I'm not trying to slight others, but he has a huge store there. He mostly does engines, and so you can look him up. That is, his name's Star Cook. Here's the phone number. It's 619-447-6788. And he's got so many parts there. He has built for the last 40 or 50 years racing engines. And he is an amazing guy. So I know I'm just using a cardboard thing. I have a whiteboard I could probably do this on, but I wanted to get this out to you today, and so you have that. So if you need engine parts, this is the guy to go see. He's very reasonable. He ships things out. If you mention that you're a Corvair Club member, he may give you a little discount. I'm not saying he will, but he might. And so he's a really good guy, Star Cook. This is his home number. It is not his cell number. And he wanted me to give you this number. I'm a good friend of his. I've been with him numerous times throughout the years, and he is just a good guy who will not do you wrong, by the way. The next guy, Joe McRae, and he has Restology Garage. And Restology Garage is, he mostly works on Volkswagens, but he does incredible work. And his number is 801-915-5637. So if you're up in this area and you have a car, a Corvair that has some rust in it, we have a new member of our car club here in Bonneville that had just picked up a pickup, and that pickup needs a lot of work to it. Panels that are rusted out and floors and stuff like that. So I hope that kind of helps you with ideas or ways to do things in your club. And then if you need parts or other things, you might want to look to some other avenues. Now, there's California Corvairs. You've got a guy in Oklahoma that has numerous parts, and I'm not sure whether the Corvair people back in Massachusetts are open yet, but I hope they are. Anyway, so now let's get to the question that I ask. Why are the Corvair fan belts always flying off? So I'm going to show you a couple parts here. This is your fan, the top of your fan pulley that's going to run at the top of your engine. Your fan will come around, fan belt will come around, and it powers the fan underneath. It is driven by the crank. The crank on the engine is 90 degrees, so you have the belt coming up, around, and then dropping 90 degrees down, around, and then back up to go back into this groove. So like a Porsche with an alternator, and their fan shroud is up like this, so they have an alternator in here, and they just have one belt that goes down and loops up. Corvair's had to do something a little different, so they had to do it like this. Now on one side you have an alternator over on this side, and on this one you have the idler pulley. And on top of it, it does have a little guard up there. I don't think I have an idler pulley behind me. No, I don't have one back there. But it's supposed to be closed down onto that fan belt. But most of the time, these pop off. The fan belts, if you rev them up, they're a little loose and you rev them up, they come right off these grooves right here. So I'm going to show you a different. Now this one is an aluminum one. You can buy them used if you can get them used. get them. They're amazing because they have on them, this doesn't really do it a lot of justice, but there's a little bit wider opening down here. So they fit a little deeper in. And if you look at them, they're made just slightly different than this stock one. So these are the ones that I would suggest that you would go out and buy. Even if you get them used, this one was used. You can get them on, Star Cook has them. I think his are $35. They're aluminum. This is a steel setup. These are aluminum, and I just went ahead and polished it up. It's going to be underneath, a 140 two-barrel intake, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's going to look into your engine and go, oh wow, that guy's got some scratches in there. Really doesn't matter. You want it to function right, and when it's spinning, nobody will ever see those little imperfections in here. I think I paid $25 to Rod Tetrault for that, and that'll keep you running down the road. Now, if you have one of these, you're going to need to carry an extra fan belt. Now, I have a whole bag full of things that I carry for my Corvair, and one of them was the fan belt, and I keep a 9/16 and a 1/2 inch wrench to be able to tighten and loosen bolts here and there to put that fan belt on. I'm sure most of you are picturing in your mind, yeah, I've done that before. That's really a pain in the neck, and but these will 99% keep your belt onto your fan and onto your crank shaft down there. Now, I also want to mention that if you are driving your Corvair car down the road and a red light comes on your dash, most of the time it's going to be your fan belt. Pull over and look and check to make sure that your fan belt is still on the car or the engine. It'll just come off and be laying there. You don't want to burn it up. The crank, you don't want the crank to keep spinning around. You want to get out and make sure that that's taken care of before you go any further down the road. And of course, your car will stay cooler. If you're not turning that fan to blow air over the fins, you're heating that engine up, and you don't want to heat it up. And just remember, if you have an opportunity where your car is heating up, if it ever happens to you, shut it off and figure out why it's heating up. Now, I have taken many fan shrouds off, and I'm sure a lot of you are going to think back and go, yeah, that's happened to me. A friend of mine, his Corvair was heating up on him. He couldn't figure out why. All you got to do is pull the carbs off. There's, 4 bolts there, or on a 140, you need to pull, 8 bolts off and unhook your linkage, and then slide it straight up, and then pull your shroud off. You got to loosen your alternator, but pull your shroud off, and if it's heating up 90% of the time, there is something in it. There is a paper towel or a rag that has been sucked into it. And I'm sure a lot of you are going, yeah, that's happened. I had stored my car outside, and it got dirty on the outside, and I looked in the engine, it had leaves in it. So I pulled the shroud off, and everything off so that I could clean that out. And sure enough, there was a lot of dirt and leaves in there. All right, I hope that has helped you. I hope that you have learned something here, and leave me a comment down in the bar there, and subscribe. I'm going to keep making these and showing you different things. So that I'm 140 Corvair Buggy, and I'm out. Thank you.